Hello and welcome to the Pixelated Sausage Show. Hi. I'm of course your host, Mark Kush Nez. How are y'all doing? Hopefully well. I am very tired. Haven't been sleeping well these past few weeks, probably. And I'm just very tired. I'm also coming off of, I feel like I am just about healed from a neck injury I sustained also a few weeks ago. Unrelated to the sleeping, though, I don't believe. But I tweaked my neck, pinched a nerve like I've done numerous times in the past, and it just took an abnormally long time to heal this go around, which may have been because it was a more serious pinched nerve, or I'm just old, and being old, things take longer to heal. A bit frustrating though, because didn't want to exacerbate it with continuing to exercise, even though I wouldn't be doing anything that is specifically targeting my neck. I don't have any neck exercises, surprise, but things will still put some added pressure on it, and by things I mean exercises. So took a break from those. I just want to get back to it. So I know y'all are so very excited to hear about that. Speaking of that, not really. You have any questions, game related, and all that kind of jazz that you would like me to answer? There is, of course, posting a comment on this here episode on the YouTubes, and then I'll hit you next episode. But for today, we have a few games to talk about. It's going to be a short episode for sure, because I'm tired, haven't been able to do as much as I would like, and got back to Attack the Backlog for the first time in a while with Hi-Fi Rush. Recorded the first episode for that. Still have to record the second and final episode. It was a journey. And I have thoughts. And you'll have to wait a good while to hear those thoughts. Probably, it won't be till next year, I don't think, that pair of episodes will come out. Because there's still, this upcoming weekend, we've got Exo Primal. And then after that, it might start the brand new year with Hi-Fi Rush. But after that, we then have the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order episodes. But for this here episode of podcasting and whatnot, we have ANTONBLAST, Symphonia, Love Too Easily, and the DLC for the Atari 50th anniversary celebration. So with that, we have the wider world of Atari and the first console war. I think the wider world, maybe the first console war. I can't remember which one just recently came out, but I got those to talk about. And in addition to those games that I played, we have one bit of news that I wanted to bring out. There's stuff that happened that I don't feel too strongly to talk about. XDefiant has finally been confirmed to be closing down, which surprises no one. There were rumors and speculation for months at this point. That is, if you are unaware, I believe, but I'm not even sure, Ubisoft's attempt at an answer to Call of Duty, but no one ever really seemed to play it. I am interested in checking it out now that it's closing. I'm curious how hard or easy the achievements are to get. If they are grindy achievements, or if they're more akin to, say, Apex Legends, where it's just get all gold armor in a round, do this, do that. Apex was pretty easy with the achievements. but it is going to be remaining open until June or July 2015. They're going to continue with Season 3. The real sad news, though, is that they are closing 2 studios, one in the States and then one in Japan, maybe Osaka. And then their Sydney studio is being restructured or something along those lines. So a lot of people are losing their jobs over this, and that always sucks. But that is not something we are unfamiliar with this year. Like I've said numerous times in previous episodes, I am going to be very interested in seeing what the final tally is when this year is over in terms of how many people lost their jobs. It's easily over 10,000, but I'm curious how close to 20,000 it's going to be, which is just an insane number to think about. But it's gotta be over 15 at this point. It's either over 15 or very close to 15. But I feel like it's over. The actual bit of news I wanted to bring up, just because it's an annoying piece of news, is the PS5 adds limited time PS1 boot up and customizable themes based on previous consoles. What a weird headline. I believe this was from VGC. PS5 adds limited time PS1 boot up and customizable themes based on previous consoles. Shouldn't it just be limited time old because it makes it sound like it's just the PS1 and then it's on previous consoles. Well, there's more than just the PS1, there's PS2. I believe it's all of them. But people are just highlighting the PS1 version of it. And this is for the anniversary, the 30th anniversary. It's not exclusive to the anniversary edition consoles. It's just something that has shown up where you can customize the themes. I haven't done it yet. And part of why I haven't done it is because this is a limited time thing. Maybe they'll go back on that and reverse it. I would love that to be the case, because good ass launching, what do you call them? Boot up sounds, that's what they are. The PS1 and the PS2, great. They tickle that nostalgia bone and then just chef's kiss. And if I knew my PlayStation 5 would always sound like a PS1 or a PS2 when I boot it up, I'd boot it up all the time. I wouldn't even play anything. I would just boot it up to boot it up. I'd be like, oh man, I remember those days. Because I adore the PS1 and the PS2 so much. God, I love the PS2. But it's a limited time thing. How limited? And limited in that it's going to go away. It's not limited in that if you customize and switch over to this now, you'll have it forever. No, it's just, hey, let's celebrate PlayStation. Why don't we celebrate it forever? I'm assuming the reason why it's limited is because I don't know what the PlayStation 5 boot up sounds like. Is there one? Since it's all SSD and fast this, fast that, do they even bother with one? I'm not sure. But if there is one, I'm assuming they want to keep the PS5 with its own identity and not have it be the console that has no identity of its own, and it's just a vehicle for your nostalgia for other PlayStation consoles. But who cares if it is? Come on. I would have been very happy if it was just an exclusive thing to the anniversary consoles and was there forever to make people even more annoyed and angry and upset. Speaking of that, I don't think I ever mentioned the PlayStation 5 Pro Anniversary Edition. Got it. It's nice. The controllers look nice. Oh, it's just a fucking PlayStation 5 with a gray color. I'm in the 9,000s in terms of my edition. Haven't really played anything. I just booted up Astrobot because it was pre-installed, as you would expect. Astrobot, not Rescue Mission. Astrobot. What the hell was the pack-in game called? That thing. That's what I played, just a little bit of it. And then I downloaded Infamous First Light to capture footage for the second episode of Miles Morales, Attack the Backlog. But outside of those, I haven't played anything else. I think I'm going to hold off on The Last of Us Part 2 until around when the second season of the HBO series is going to come out. But I'm not sure yet. And just like I've been waiting and hoping for, they put The Last of Us Part 1, the remake of the first game, on sale. So I'm thinking maybe even though I replayed the first game, the remaster, for second runs, one of the few second runs I did, I might second run it again and play The Last of Us Part 1 and then The Last of Us Part 2. I'm assuming The Last of Us Part 1, the remake, includes the Left Behind DLC. It'd be weird if it didn't. I'm kind of excited about that, though I think since I'm postponing that, I might end up playing Days Gone as the first game to christen my PlayStation 5 Pro with. So there's that, but it's just a fucking PlayStation 5. All right. That's what it is. Comes in a giant fucking box. Holy shit. The box it came in and shipped in was gigantic, and then the actual box of the PlayStation Anniversary Edition was gigantic. And I don't like the fact we knew it was going to be this way. I was hoping maybe that was just some incorrect imagery, but the fact that the Anniversary Edition PlayStation 5 Pro did not come in a classic style box. It was just this white, nothing, nondescript, fucking stupid looking thing. That's annoying. I'm going to keep the box because it's a nice big box and it's a nice box, and it's part of the anniversary. It's just, why not make it more in line with the whole anniversary thing? I don't know. But outside of that, nothing really to speak of news-wise that grabbed me in any specific way. All the NASCAR games are being delisted. I have all of them. I don't have NASCAR Heat 2, I guess. Don't know what that's all about. Don't know how that happened. That bums me out. I get bummed every time there's something that's been delisted and I don't have it. Because I want it. I want to have everything. Speaking of delisting, this is something I thought about months and months ago, never talked about it. And then I was reminded of it right now thinking about delistings. And I know it's a trickier thing because of licenses and all that, but since Microsoft has Activision, they acquire them and all that, maybe it would be cool and nice if they relisted that shitty Ninja Turtles game made by Platinum Games. I believe it was Mutants in Manhattan. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Mutants in Manhattan. The game that I was so excited about because I thought, man, Transformers Devastation was so much better than I think most of us expected it would be. Just give me that with Ninja Turtles instead, and it wasn't that, and it fucking sucks. But yeah, I guess we'll just get on to what I've been playing, call this a short show, and be done with it. Because with the injury too, I was more akin to just watch movies and play Gems of War while I do that. Because it's just the neck thing and everything. It was a frustrating situation. But I've been enjoying rotations? going through my entire Blu-ray collection as I'm doing currently and watching everything, seeing what still hits, what doesn't, and reviewing everything on Letterboxd to varying degrees of seriousness. Maybe I just put a line in there that it's a joke related to the movie. Maybe I put in more significant and real commentary on how I feel about what I just watched. But I've been surprised by some of my feelings towards movies I remembered loving, but that's what happens when you haven't watched anything in 10 years or longer. You're a changed person. I've talked about this either here or maybe in a Patreon thing, but I think at this point, I am the person I am forever going to be. And there we go. I hope I don't have another wild change where suddenly I hate things that I liked and I like things I used to like and then hate it and now I like it. I don't want any of that shit. I don't want to get rid of whatever I don't want. I don't want anything that I want again. I don't know what the hell just came out of my mouth either. Don't worry, it's not just you. It's all of us. It's not just you. It's not just me. It's every one of us. But let us just get on to what I've been playing. All right. Enough of this. I don't want to say anything weird. ANTONBLAST. This is a fast-paced, side-scrolling platformer. Super destruction-heavy. Compared to the Wario World games, I think they're called, that I've never played, so I don't have that as any kind of personal experience. This, I don't know, I just had a brain fart there. It has a very, very 90s-ish aesthetic that I really, really like. It has a very Ren and Stimpy type of vibe, and also reminds me game-wise of Booger Man, which might be a game most are unfamiliar with, unless you're of a certain age. But I had Booger Man. It was one of the few games I had at launch when I got my, not at launch, but when I got my Genesis. It was one of the few games that I was given. It was Booger Man. I believe my Sega Genesis came with Sonic, so I had that as well. But Booger Man and then the Pink Panther game. And I really like Booger Man. It didn't play like this. But this, again, is ANTONBLAST. Fast-paced, side-scrolling platformer. Very momentum-based, where you are charging through these levels super fast. You get to the end of a level, and then you are given a timer to go back from where you came and exit the level. There are also boss fights in it as well. The problem with the game for me, and I played on Steam, I played about a little over an hour, and I played it exclusively on my Steam Deck, which isn't, it doesn't have Steam Deck compatibility or whatever it's called right now. Wherever they say like this works on Steam Deck or some shit where it's certified or whatever, but it works perfectly on Steam Deck. It worked flawlessly. There were no issues whatsoever with the controls or anything like that. So while it may not say it is Steam Deck compatible just yet, it 100% is. And it looks great on the OLED screen. But the problem for me with it was that I liked the way a lot of the various gameplay mechanics felt from an individual standpoint. Your little charge movement feels good. Your slide feels good. When you're at a slope, press down on the D-pad and you turn into a bowling ball and you roll. And there's a lot about these individual feels that remind me of Kirby. So your momentum feels very akin to turning into the tire in Kirby and then just rolling just like a ball. But the flow of putting all those moves together never quite clicked with me. I never got into that flow state of having these long stretches of just chaining various movements together. Part of it is that you have this not quite DuckTales-esque ability to roll in the air and then you hit the ground and then you propel yourself back up and you kind of have this pogo stick type movement. And I found that I would often, when charging, whether I do a jump or I hit something, I go into that and then I keep fucking bouncing around and I just want to get back on the ground and propel myself forward, all Sonic like, all Kirby Tire like. And there's just something weird about how that was implemented, where I'd get into these stupid fucking bouncing phases that really felt bad to me. But it was still fun to go through the levels, even though I never got into that kind of flow state with it. It still looks great. It's beautifully animated. There's more story than I was expecting, and at times it got a little more talky than I was expecting it to get. Where these two characters were having a back and forth, you and this other dude were going back and forth, and I was like, fucking, all right, come on, let us move on already. But it's well voiced and looks great. But then you have the boss fights, where I just did the one, and it was incredibly frustrating and not fun, because it was a small arena. I'm fighting this dude in a wrestling ring. I have to hit him 5 times, go through these various phases, and it didn't feel good. When you're going through these levels and utilizing the mechanics, it feels all right, and I'm sure depending on you and how able you are to get into that flow state of chaining everything together and getting into these long runs. Because I'm sure if you're a speedrunner, this is gonna feel great when you figure everything out and everything clicks and you're just able to have these incredibly long, unbroken chains. That is gonna be really satisfying. Because like I said, I think every individual mechanic feels really good. It's just in the chaining of them together where, for me, I never quite got there. But again, only played an hour, so it could be something that needs a little bit more time to fully click. And also, potentially, maybe I need to play it on my PC with a proper controller. Because the Steam Deck, it feels good. It's worse probably for shooters more than any kind of genre, but for platformers it's pretty good. But at the same time, it's not a standalone controller. It still has, you're losing something for the bonus of having a portable. And there's no portable console that has ever existed where I would ever say, yeah, I like this more than a traditional controller. No. That they range in acceptableness. So maybe that would help as well. But the boss fight was just this incredibly frustrating and annoying thing that I did not enjoy doing at all. I had to keep redoing it. That was kind of the brick wall for me, where I hit that and I said, how many of these are in this game? Because I do not want to do this again. Going through levels, fun. Boss fights, bad. But that is ANTONBLAST. I don't know why my nose is running. Why is my nose running? But next we have Symphonia, which is a music-themed side-scrolling platformer where you play some kind of musician thing and you're trying to get some musicians back or some shit, and you and your violin go on and do all this stuff. But I never quite like the way any of it felt. There was a degree of it that felt kind of delayed. That the latency didn't feel right. It felt a little bit unresponsive, not super unresponsive. It just felt like there was something a little off in the responsiveness, the snappiness of everything. The jump feels, it's not that it's heavy, but it's not quite smooth and again responsive. And then you have with your violin this ability to shoot air or something at the ground and propel yourself higher, so you can get to higher ledges. And then you can also use this and chain it with your momentum and kind of bounce over areas, which can feel good. You do have to be close to the ground to propel yourself up, which wasn't made clear initially. And there was a gap that I kept falling because I was trying to propel myself up over a gap, and that didn't work. But then you can also stick to these cushions and then propel yourself in various directions. But it just never quite felt right. It looks okay. Not really strong musically. The music themed wasn't really there in terms of the audio experience. But I don't know. It just never really clicked in any way. Any part of it. Visually, gameplay wise, story wise. Played it for an hour and I was like, I don't know. ANTONBLAST is one that I will probably go back to, try it with a controller, despite not enjoying the boss fight and not looking forward to future boss fights. But it has enough there that I think especially if I could get into a place where I'm chaining things together better, maybe controller help again, I could see myself really enjoying. But with this, I don't know what would change. That is against Symphonia. Next, we have Love Too Easily, which is an interactive movie, FMV, where you play a young woman who goes out with a couple of friends, 3 guys, 1 fellow lady, eating, drinking, and during the night, you end up kissing someone, and you switch phones with them, presumably, you assume, but you can't remember anything about what happened, who you kissed, or anything else. And you're trying to figure out who it is that you kissed. Is it your childhood friend? Is it this other dude? I can't remember what his whole deal was, or this other guy who seems very standoffish and doesn't like you. And then you also have your lady friend. The problem with the game is that the localization translation is a bit iffy, and at sometimes is very bad enough to take me out of the whole story and everything, because I am taken aback by what I'm reading. But more so than that, one, you have the whole issue of it being this interactive FMV experience where scenes and cuts and transitions will take an extended period of time for the game to catch up with your decision or take your decision and then move to the next scene, so that you have these really awkward pauses that feel incredibly unnatural, and characters just kind of staring at each other or doing nothing and just waiting for the game to catch up. So it makes the whole experience rather awkward. But then, more so than any of that, you can or at least I can accept not so great translations and localizations as long as I get the general gist of what is being said and it's not constant. For the most part, it's fine, but there will be times where it's just like, oh, that's off. But the real problem is the story is just fucking stupid. One thing I like too is, in addition to having this FMV experience, which kind of looks not great picture-wise, and some of the colors are blown out, but you have this general thing or story, and then occasionally you'll get little choices of how you can interact with certain people or where you go next, what you do. But what I like is that when you are moving between these various story segments, you'll get these mini games as well. So at the very start, after your night out, you return home, you wake up, you're like, what happened? Where's my phone? I hear it ringing. You then play a type of hidden object search game, Where's Waldo, etc., to find your phone in your room. So you're searching around and you're looking at stuff, getting information about other things while looking for your phone. And later on, when you are going to go out, you decide on what makeup you're going to wear, what outfit you're going to wear, how you're going to do your hair, and then you proceed to put on your makeup and all that. I think all that is really cool to make it a more interactive experience, to give you more to do than just making choices. You actually get these little mini games to play. There's one later on where you end up in a bar and you have to get out, so it turns into a type of point and click adventure where you're looking for ways to escape this bar. I like all that. It doesn't feel that great on a controller. It would feel much better on mouse and keyboard because you are using an on-screen cursor for all of that, and it's a very loosey-goosey type of in terms of sensitivity. You can probably adjust that, but regardless, it's going to feel better with the mouse because you're just able to do pinpoint accuracy much better. But the problem with the game is the story is incredibly stupid. So you're this young woman who kissed someone during the night, can't remember who it is, and you think you took their phone. Why you think you took their phone, I have no idea. Your phone was next to another person's phone at the bar. You picked up their phone instead of yours. But you don't know that's the phone of the person you kissed. There's no reason why it would be. It was just one of the person's phone at the it could have been any of them. That doesn't make any sense why you just jumped to that. 2, why ever no one, when you meet up for like a fucking breakfast meal, says, hey, I got your phone, you have my no one talks about missing their phone, so that's already fucking weird. When you get into the bar and you get stuck in it, it's a bar that apparently you could walk into. The door was open from the outside, but then it's locked from the inside, so you can't leave. What kind of fucking anything has a door where it's open from the outside so anyone can come in, but then when you get in, you can't leave? That sounds like some psychopathic serial killer type of setup where you invite someone in and then they can't fucking get out. That doesn't make any fucking sense. When you finally get a call on the phone and you answer it, it's from your lady friend, and she says, who is this? And you tell her it's you, and she's like, no, it's not. I know my friend. I know what she sounds like. Apparently you don't, because you fucking can't tell it's her. And then you have to go on this back and forth of her trying to figure out if it's really you. So she's asking you questions, and I'm like, this is very forced in terms of story, in terms of giving you something to do here, where it's like, no fucking shot this person I've known for years and years and years doesn't think it's me. This is just stupid excuse for gameplay. So I know it's a short game experience thing because you're going to be replaying it to get multiple endings. I am curious about, because when you create your outfit, it's 3 different outfits. There's basically a nice plain neutral type of normal outfit. There's a more grungy, hot topic-y type of thing, and then something that looks like it's a homeless person. So I kind of want to play around with that because I'm sure, I mean, they're going to be dressed in that, the actual actress, the live action actress. But I stopped playing at that point because I just thought, this story is so stupid. And the way these characters are behaving is so stupid. I'm not having fun with this because it's too stupid. This isn't fun stupid. This is just stupid. Which bummed me out because I like these games where you can play around and you have choice. I enjoyed that 5 first dates? Or just, no, I think it was just 5 dates. And then the sequel was 10 dates. I liked that game. It was stupid, but it was stupid in a fun way. And I was really hoping this would fall somewhere in that line. But the story is just bad. That is love too easily. No. I would pass on that one. And then the Atari 50th the anniversary celebration. The 2 DLC packs that came out are The Wider World of Atari and The First Console War. The Wider World of Atari focuses a lot on their arcade offerings, and then some of, I don't know, arcade ports. And then the First Console War follows their battle, their war quotations with Intellivision. And both of these are just more of that great interactive documentary style of giving you little bits of information and videos and all that, as well as a lot of games. They both add a lot of games to the collection. They're $8 a piece, the DLCs. Well worth it just for the games alone. You don't get too much added information, but the games are great. I was playing one of my favorite Atari games. I think it's Astro Blast. Love that game. There's some prototypes in there. There was one type of undersea one where I was shooting fish. Of course, the stuff is very old. There are Atari games, so your mileage will vary on how much you enjoy them. But I was having fun with the games, and it was reminding me of what I wish still existed in some way. I really enjoyed it at the time. That Xbox Live arcade compilation thing. It was called the Arcade Room, where you had all these various cabinets that you could purchase and play and have high scores and all that. I would love something like that to return, where you have this digital arcade full of various cabinets where you can play them. Maybe it works off a time, like some kind of free-to-play system where, and it might be similar to the way that those Capcom collections are structured, but something where you have this digital arcade space, and then you could play a game every hour or so. Maybe you earn 4 quarters, 4 tokens every hour, or however many tokens every hour to play games, or you can spend however much to purchase individual cabinets outright and have free play on them. I like those systems. I wish that would return. But the DLCs for the Atari collection are more of that same goodness. I doubt anyone who really likes the collection hasn't already picked them up, because if you enjoyed the anniversary celebration, the initial base game, and you want more of that, both DLCs deliver on that. and give you a whole bunch of games as well. So I recommend those very highly, but I feel like I'm recommending them to people who already know that they want them and will like them. But I'm just here to reiterate that. I'm just here to say, you're right. You were right to expect that, or blah 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 blah. Anywho, that'll do it for this here episode of the Pixelated Sausage Show. Like every episode, I feel like I'm losing my voice every time I record these podcasts. By the end of the show, I'm like, I should drink something because my voice is going away. My voice. This is a good time to say, is it recording? Yeah, it's recording. Anywho, that is going to do it for this episode. As always, I am Marcus Nez. Y'all can find me pretty much everywhere at PX Sausage. Not that it matters because I don't really fuck with social media anymore. I consider it, I think about it, I don't know. What am I going to do? I think maybe Instagram. I don't really want to do Threads because I hear nothing but shit about Threads. Twitter is what it is at this point. Blue Sky, I don't know. I feel like for social media, what I like is just on a list for tracking it, anime. I don't really post anything there because I would love to be part of some anime community, but my experience with anime communities has never been that great. So I'm always a bit standoffish with that. Again, it's part of why Animazingly Bach has not returned. But then I like letterboxing. I wish there was something like that for video games. I wish there was a letterbox for video games, because I would be all over that. If there is anything akin to that, let me know. What the hell was that? Little circle thing. Anywho, I am at PX Sausage. I am at PX Sausage pretty much everywhere. If you enjoyed this here show or any of the stuff I do and what have you, you can support me and my nonsense over at patreon.com/PXS. There you can get access to a monthly Q&A, some fancy Discord roles, a private Discord channel, random drops on the Discord here and there, which I think I'm going to just I'm gonna smush it all into the sausage dump. So when I do tier lists and stuff like that, I think it's all just gonna be the sausage dump. I'm gonna do maybe a weekly sausage dump, and they could be anything that either I feel like talking about or a tier list that is tickling my fancy, or maybe someone suggested in the Cool Kids Club private Discord channel, something along those lines. But I think I'm gonna just do that, so that we're just gonna have the sausage dump. That's what the sausage dump is. One of the things I think I want to do a sausage dump about is this stupid fucking. I watch random little shorts here and there on Facebook or YouTube, in part because I'm just always curious and confused by certain trends. But on Facebook, there's this one dude who just goes, here's something I wish I knew, or here's something I didn't know until I was in my 30s, and he fucking says it like that. I'm like, fucking no. Here's something I didn't know until I was in my 30s. If you put hot water in a milk carton, fucking, you could roll it easily. Who gives a shit? What do you need to roll your milk? Just fucking throw it in the recycling bin. Are you recycling so much that little bit of extra space is important? Who fucking cares? I need the person who didn't know shit until they're in their 40s, because I'm right. I'm just around the corner from that. Speaking of 30s, belated happy birthday to Entry, who turns the greatest age. Who just turned the greatest age, that is. Because it's my favorite number. It's my favorite number times 2. That equals the number of my favorite athlete of all time. So, positives all around. But that is, again, patreon.com/PXS. Patreon.com/PXS if you want shit like that. Or you can just support me to support me if that is your fancy. In addition to the Patreon, you can find links to the site, the YouTube, the Discord, and so much more over at pxsausage.com. That's where you can find a link to my letterbox and so on and so forth. But that is it. That is all. As always, thank you for watching or listening. I hope you enjoy this here episode, and I hope you have both a wonderful rest of your day, a lovely rest of your week, and a wonderful weekend. But for now, adios, arrivederci. Bye bye.
It's go time. It's go time.